How many years have you been buying stocks for your funds, and what is your track record?
I've been running money for about 30 years. I'm a chartered financial analyst holder. Selective Asset Management is our own firm. We have in the past run money for outside firms, but since November of 2012 we're now running our own money internally, which is great for your viewers because we end up basically eating our own cooking and have the advantage of effectively investing on the same kind of risk-reward parameters that a lot of your viewers do as well. Our performance over the years has been very good. I ran the Northwest Special Innovations Fund. Basically we were awarded Top Technology Fund for 3 years running, and when I was at Royal Bank Investment Management I was fortunate to be able to produce 3-year results of 70% compounded each year for 3 years running during the kind of 1997 through 2000 internet period.
I understand that you employ a 12-factor stock selection methodology. Can you explain this to our audience?
We use a computer to help sort and sift through the kind of large number of stocks that we have in all the factors. The factors include return on equity, earnings surprise, estimate revision, price to book, and price to earnings. We also use enterprise value to EBITDA, and we're really keen on free cash flow because at the end of the day we believe in what I call cigar box accounting. You open up the cigar box at the end of each quarter and hopefully there's more money there.
So what stocks do you think look attractive at this time?
One of those stocks is Alter NRG. The stock symbol is NRG. Market cap's about $50 million. The stock currently is trading around 76 cents and has recently hit new highs. Avigilon is a company that we have favored. It's a bit larger than the other. Its market cap is about $1.2 billion. The symbol is AVO, and the stock's currently trading about $30. The reason we think it's attractive is that the surveillance cameras that they produce, as well as the complete system that they have, software and servers, is in a transition phase from analog to digital. And that is quite significant because they're, we believe, in the early stages. Another one that we favor is Burcon NutraScience. The symbol is BU. Market cap's about $75 million. They have a process to be able to extract protein from both soy and peas. They have an agreement with Archer Daniels Midland. We're expecting that by March of 2014, you should see some significant sales on the commercialization of that technology. We also like FLYHT Aerospace. The symbol is FLY. Market cap's about $53 million. Stocks recently been hitting new highs. They've recently announced contracts with a Chinese airplane manufacturer that's expected that their product, which is the equivalent of a black box for live data streaming as well as voice communications through satellites, will be in place. The important part is it is a recurring revenue model, and we think that over time people will become to appreciate the recurring revenue portion. Sales have grown by 42%. Recurring revenue is currently 60% of sales. We think it'll be huge traction in 2014 for this company.
What sector or sectors do you currently think offer the best upside potential?
Well, I'm biased because of my historical perspective, but also we think that technology and industrial products companies are doing very well. Unfortunately, the price of gold and many other kind of base metals has declined significantly. We think, again, there's very good opportunities in tech and industrial companies.
What is your outlook for the Canadian and U.S. equity markets during the next 12 months?
We think the Canadian market generally will struggle compared to the U.S. market for two reasons. One, because of so much of Canada is based on exports and kind of raw materials, which we think that'll be a challenge, even though we're expecting reasonable world economic growth. We're also expecting the Canadian dollar to continue to weaken versus the U.S. dollar. That decline may be in the range of 5 to 7 cents. So we think there's better opportunities for companies that are exporting, or some of the companies that we've talked of are in Canada and selling to export markets and should do quite well. The outlook for the U.S. market is more at a very near-term hinge point. The reason being that the S&P 500 seems to be going through a short-term pullback. We haven't had a correction of over 10% for over 2 years. That's not common. We usually have a correction of at least 10% once per year. So we're kind of overdue for a correction. So if the S&P pulls back below 1706, then you'd end up saying we've probably started a new intermediate correction, which we haven't had for a long while. Also, there's great uncertainty with regard to whether interest rates are going to continue to move higher in the U.S. We think they will. Therefore, we favor stocks over bonds for the next 12 months. But there's also concern as to the impact of the kind of tapering and the reduction of the kind of bond purchases by the U.S. So Again, we're at a hinge point. If we pull back and then continue to advance from here, the world's a happy place. If not, below 1706, then I think you want to take some money off the table and look for better buying opportunities.
In your opinion, are there any countries outside of North America in which investors should consider making investments?
Most of our investing focuses on Canada. The reason for that is I can actually sit and meet with the companies. A lot of these companies, as an example with FLYHT, their main kind of opportunity is in China and in kind of other emerging economies. As an example, we talked about Alter NRG. Its great opportunity at the moment is in the UK, so you can quite happily get Canadian companies that will benefit from kind of foreign market growth with all the advantages of the Canadian accounting standards and the ability to meet with management. So we invest typically here in Canada.
Subscribe to our daily newsletter and be the first to get expert insights and advice from our roster of industry specialists. Smallcappower.com, investment ideas and research.